Hey, welcome back. Right now, I am joined with Stanley Chappell and also Schwan Park, Max's father. So Schwan has been a really big supporter of Max in his cubing career, and Schwan and his wife Mickey have always really helped get into the community and get used to the competition. So we've heard a lot of interesting stuff about Max in various documentaries and media pieces. What's something interesting about Max that you think most people?
Oh, you know what? You cut out there at the last minute, Phil. What was
Okay,
the last part of the question? I'm sorry.
right, no problem. What's something interesting about Max that you think most people don't know?
They don't know. Um,
Yeah.
I think most people don't know that with regards to cubing, that he his practices are as intense as his competition. I don't think people know that because when they see him
Hmm.
practicing in competitions, he is a little bit more casual,
Hmm.
or at least less more casual than he is at home. At home, when he's practicing, his mindset is that he's actually competing every time he's practicing, and it could be the most mundane practice, like after getting up and having a bowl of cereal. He'll when he practices, he jumps into it, and you can sort of see when he does it that he takes it really seriously. And I think I remember during the West Coast Cubing Tour last summer, when Felix came to visit, and they both woke up in the morning and they were practicing 6x6. And I think Felix was really surprised how seriously Max was taking his practice, because at one point I think we said we got to go get breakfast, and Max wouldn't leave until he actually got a certain time and all that, and Felix was giggling the whole time, thinking, "Wow, he's taking this very, very seriously," and is making everybody wait. We couldn't go to get breakfast until Max finished this series of scrambles. So I think that's one thing people don't know because they don't get a chance to see him at home. So
Right. Yeah.
they're not
Exactly.
they're not going to get to see that. But that's something that I don't think a lot of people know. But people who have come over and they see him, they're really surprised when they do see that. So
Interesting. And has Max considered doing other WCA events outside of the ones that he currently does? And what else is he interested cubing wise, if anything?
well, from what I can tell, I don't think he's interested in a lot of other events, purely because he's so focused on what he's working on at hand that it doesn't he doesn't drift away. His attention doesn't drift away. At this time, I think that he'd be much more interested in getting a faster 5x5 time or a faster 7x7 time than to try a new cube, or I'm sorry, to try a new puzzle, or a new, like a Pyraminx or something like that. So yeah, I just don't see him. It almost seems like if he was going to go into a Pyraminx, it would be as if he was going to start a new sport. He
Hmm.
seems to come off the
Okay.
dealer that way.
Interesting. Curveball question.
Hmm.
Do you cube? And if so, how are you?
Well, I'm pretty good now. I used to be really bad. I used to, I could do it in about 6.5 minutes now, but I used to be really bad. It'd take me a day. So I'm
Okay,
pretty good.
that's actually percentage-wise a huge improvement. Does Max ever try to tell you stuff about cubing, or does he just keep?
Oh, no, no, no. If he saw me cubing, he sometimes he would just grab the cube out of my hand and finish it for me because he's so annoyed at what I'm doing, probably. Um, so I try not to
That's
annoy him.
funny.
I try not to annoy him as much as possible. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's really funny. Um, One thing I also was like browsing Max's competition history. I saw in the past 30 WCA competitions, he
Mhm.
scored sub 7 averages, just like pretty much every round. He's what's his secret to being so consistent aside from just him being straight up?
Um, I think that his big secret is that he practices. I think everybody knows this. I know Philip Lewicki talked about this in his video too. That
Hmm.
he practices competing um,
Right.
as much as he practices solving. So, meaning that he practices the competition, what the competition is going to be like. I think that that's pretty important. I think he understands that, and I think everybody knows that when you're competing, nerves is almost 50-60% of your skills, or overcoming it or dealing with it. And unfortunately, I think not enough cubers practice that. So it's a different. To me, it looks like a different competition for them when they go to competition, because it's a foreign environment, as opposed to.
That's what the 2x2 guys were saying. Like they make one little mistake due to nerves, and they lose a fraction of a second, and then they go from like second place or first place to like 15th in a competition.
Yeah.
It can really hurt. Stanley, do you have any questions for?
Yeah. So in regards to like Max's social life within cubing, yeah, how does he thrive like in the like for example during a multi-day competition in like the evenings when the competition's not going on? What does he do during those periods?
During longer competitions like the U.S. Nationals, after the rounds, he'll normally go up to the room, wherever we're staying, and he'll sometimes practice the next day's events. But the thing that he does most of the time is if he gets a bad time, or if he gets a time that he's not satisfied with. I mean, you guys just saw that his first round here. I guarantee you right now he's trying to make up for those two sevens that he got. And and so that's what he'll do if he gets a bad time. Like let's say he just missed a time to get him a sub-7 or something like that. He'll go back up to the room, and he has to get a better time in order to sort of resolve in his head that he can do it. So most of the time when he goes back to the competition, he'll look back in the day and go, what didn't work for me? And he'll practice that in order for him to be satisfied with himself. So that's how he spends most of his time. As far as practicing for the next events for the next day, he almost normally only does that. It's strange. He doesn't practice that much the night before. He actually tries to practice about an hour before the competition. And I'm not sure why he does that, but that's just something that works for him.
I mean, it's a documented technique when studying for tests. Also, you do most, during the semester, and retain all the information, and you do a review before the test, so you don't tire yourself out. So, yeah, I've seen that do that as well.
Yeah, and if we're not doing that, we're chasing after Korean barbecues wherever we go. So we've become experts at like finding Korean barbecues in Paris, and what the Korean community is, and where we can find kimchi and things like that. I mean, we've become really the first thing we do is like, okay, we're gonna go to Houston. What is, we look on Yelp and say Houston Korean barbecue, and then we look up what's available in the area, and so we can give you a pretty good idea like who's got the best Korean barbecues. And surprisingly, there's some really, really good places, and not necessarily, it's not all in California, although I think that California does have a leg up on Korean barbecue. But
nice. So I was going to say, like, I see on Max's social media after every competition there's a picture of him smiling with Korean barbecue. Does he have any favorite foods or any favorite way to unwind after a competition?
I think Korean barbecue is one of the ways he does unwind. But one of the things that he loves is Candy Crush. He loves
Candy Crush.
Yeah,
okay.
And so he likes to, as soon as the competition's over, he'll be on the phone doing Candy Crush. So a lot of times we will be going to the Bay Area we're in Southern California, in Los Angeles, and so it's about anywhere from a 6-8 hour drive to San Francisco Bay Area, and we go up there a lot. And so the one thing that he'll do is he'll be very focused on cubing, and as soon as the competition's over and we're on the way home, he gets on the phone and then he will start doing. He'll relax and play Candy Crush. He really loves that.
Cool. So at competition, he's matching colors with other colors, and when he's resting, he's matching colors with other colors.
Yeah, and numbers. He also likes threes. I don't know if you're familiar
right.
with threes. He really likes that. That's I think, but yeah, sequence, anything to do with sequence and anticipating, what colors are going to come up and things like that. I think he seems to have a knack for that. So.
It's really interesting. All right. We are very, very close to the time where we have to yield to the. So before we head out, is there anything you'd like to share with the viewing audience?
Yeah, you should share the story of how Stanley and Patrick and all those guys spent the night on Max's bed in Las Vegas. Stanley, did you ever tell anybody about that? Who
It's
was all
not
there?
something
It
that
was
really comes up.
you. It was Patrick. It was
Jarek Lee, John Epley.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think that was it. Plus, Max and everything. But yeah, no. For one night during SkillCon 2018, we all went up to the park's hotel room and essentially just had like a team cubicle party. It was really fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Just ordered a lot of food to the room, and really just had a great time. Like, just basically hanging out there and just socializing.
Well, the part is I was thinking specifically is everybody jumped in his bed and wouldn't leave, and Max wanted to go to sleep because we had the competition the next day, I think. And everybody wanted to jump in his bed.
Yeah, I think that was it was either on Friday or Saturday night, and yeah, we had the competition the next day. Yeah, Max was trying to go to sleep, and essentially, I don't remember who decided to do this, but essentially, someone said like, "Let's all jump in his bed and get a selfie for social media."
Well, I think it's because I think Max actually fell asleep. Oh, that's the other thing. I think Max is once he decides he's going to go to bed. We were in a room with all the cubers, and everybody was talking, eating, having a good time. All of a sudden, Max just got up and went right for the bed, laid down, and it was as if he was just going to go to bed. Like, you guys keep talking if you want. I'm going to sleep. It was just he decided I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. So I think
nice.
I think it was Patrick that started it. He thought it was fun to jump in his bed or something like that. But anyway, it was fun.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Yep. We got to wrap up. Thank you so much for being on stream with us. We hope it was fun for you.
It was a lot of fun.
And yeah, Max is definitely an interesting dude. So thank you so much for your time, and catch you later.
Okay.